rare adventures of Biggles.
Because there is nowhere to land near the oasis of Nanhu, Biggles is forced to drop men and supplies by parachute to aid the fugitive missionaries. He plans to return with the plane in a week, by which time his men should have a landing strip prepared. But Algy is injured in the parachute jump. Peng and Ginger assist him to the oasis, where two of the missionaries examine him. The others tell Ginge of a terrible massacre that occurred only 10 days ago.
Let me get this straight, Miss Summers. These Kyrgyz outlaws were chased to the oasis by the Chinese cavalry.
That's what happened. We only knew the Kyrgyz were coming. Otherwise, all of us would have been hiding.
You see, the Kyrgyz are savage warriors, but like us, they live in constant fear of the communists, and in the past have done us little harm.
Miss Summers was up in the caves with Ming and Father Dubron, while you and Miss Traves were out in the desert gathering firewood.
Well, we were the only ones who escaped. The others were all trapped in the oasis.
Who killed them? The Kyrgyz or the soldiers?
Only some of them were killed. And we saw it happen from the caves.
Well, perhaps you would rather not talk about it, Miss Summers.
Well, these folk must know. When our friends saw that a battle was inevitable, they ran for safety to the guest house. But the shooting had already started. Some of them were cut down in the first few minutes.
Mr. Carter and Chai, my Chinese servant, were killed instantly. Mr. Bates was so badly wounded that he died 2 days later.
But the others got to the guest house?
Yes. The fighting was terrible. It lasted for some hours, but we couldn't bear to watch it. We went back into the caves and hid there until long after the shooting had stopped.
Miss Traves and I had come back by this time. From behind a sand dune, we saw the finish of the affair. A few of the Kyrgyz escaped on their horses, but very few. The others were massacred.
And your friends?
Well, they were taken away as prisoners by the soldiers. We haven't seen them since.
Then for all you know, they may be dead too.
No, I do not think so. A few days ago, a friend of the abbot brought us word that they were in prison at Tunwang, awaiting trial as enemy agents and collaborators. Well, we do not know what has happened since then.
This is awful. How many prisoners were taken?
5, including the abbot Ching Fu. Originally, there were 11 in our party, but Mr. Greurs died some time ago.
Died? He was murdered. He tried to visit friends at Tunwang, thought you could get food from them. He was captured and tortured to death by Colonel Ma Shang.
Ma Chang is the commandant of Tunwang. The Tiger is his nickname, and it is thoroughly justified. A great villain never lives.
This doesn't seem to be a healthy place at the moment.
Oh, it's a terrible place. You can imagine our nerves have been in a shocking state since the massacre.
But the worst part is over, Miss Summers. Now we have these good people to help us if there is more trouble.
And do you think the Kyrgyz or the Chinese may come back?
Oh, it's hard to say. There weren't many Kyrgyz left, so it would be only a shortage of food or water that would bring back that particular band.
But one can't be sure. They're quite unpredictable.
I think there is more danger from the Chinese. Ma Chang would be furious if he knew we were living here.
But he didn't know the 5 of you were here. He probably thinks the place has been cleaned up.
Well, that is our hope, of course. But our constant fear is that, under torture, our own people may be forced to confess that there are more of us.
We aren't very safe, are we?
Well, we have survived for many months. Surely we shall live through another week. You did say your friends would come back for us in a week.
Oh, yes, you can rely on that. Biggles will be back with the plane a week from today. But then we must have a landing strip cleared for him.
Well, we can do that, I'm sure. We shall work at night and during the cooler parts of the day.
Is this Mr. Biggles your leader?
Oh, yes, Air Inspector Bigglesworth. But he answers to Biggles. And, my name's Ginger, by the way. I'll be much happier if you use it.
Oh, very well. Ginger. What are your orders? You are in charge now.
Well, I'd like to know how Algy's going. He's really the boss.
Oh, leave him to the attention of Anne and Father Dubron. It is better for us not to interfere.
Will they be able to do anything for him if he's really ill?
Well, they are both experienced and qualified in their work. Of course, conditions are bad and we have little medical equipment, but they will do their best for him.
What makes you think he's really ill? He was only injured in a parachute jump, wasn't he?
Yes, but he should never have made the jump. He was thrown from a horse some days ago, and I think he was more hurt than he'd admit. Algy's like that. If there's a chance he might miss out on a stunt, he'll never admit he's off colour.
For all our sakes, I hope he's not seriously hurt. But have faith in our friends.
Yes, I will. We might be able to help them, too. We dropped medical supplies from the plane before we came down ourselves.
You did? Where are they?
They're still lying out in the desert. There's quite a bit of food there, too.
Well, then, let us bring it in. Soon the heat will be overwhelming. We dare not waste precious supplies.
An interesting bally flight, old bean.
Desert flying always is, Bertie. There's never much change in the scenery.
But sizzling sausages, we're in the middle of a hostile country. You'd think there'd be at least a spot of excitement every now and then.
For Pete's sake, don't wish any trouble on us, you ass. We've a long way to go and a long way to come back again.
That's what's worrying us, Lissy's no end. It's going to be bally boring squatting in Dakar for a week. Isn't there anything else we can do, Biggles?
Nothing that would be sensible. Our job is to rescue the team from Nanhu today week. We mustn't take any risks that may interfere with that.
No, I suppose not. Still, it looks as if Algy and Ginge are going to have all the fun on this trip. You know, we Lissies loathe desert.
No one cares for it much.
You think it'd grow sick of sand, sand and more sand, wouldn't you? If we Lissies were a bally desert, we'd squirt up a few trees here and there just for the heck of it.
It's not all sand. There are a few outcrops of rock down there.
Fat lots of use they are. Nothing grows on them. They just stick up like so many undernourished blooming pimples.
They're nourished enough. I shouldn't like to take the kite too close to them. They'd hit you an awful whack if you went into them.
Hey, don't start getting ideas, old bean. You stay well up in the jolly old ozone. We Lissies feel much safer up here.
If you Lissies stopped whining about the scenery, we wouldn't talk like that. At any rate, what's wrong with the view over there to port? There's a range of hills for you.
And more rocks. Keep away from them.
I don't know. I'm not even sure I can't see a patch of green in the distance.
Mirage. Cast your peepers in the other valley direction and forget about the scenery. Sizzling sausages.
What's up?
Well, I must be imagining it, but it looks to me as if there are some buildings over there to starboard.
Surely not. I don't think there are any villages in this area. Bertie, see if there's anything marked on the map.
Right. No, certainly not a village, old bean.
Anything at all?
There's a water hole that'd be somewhere near the spot.
Then it must be a village. They'd build near water.
Valley place doesn't look like a chink village, though.
That's what I've been thinking. There aren't many buildings, but they seem to be quite big.
Burble a bit closer and we'll have a squint at it.
No fear. Whatever it is, it's nothing to do with us. And we're not going to risk being seen.
But we're the dickens of a way away from it, old bean.
Holy mackerel!
Hey! Don't go to a dive. This is a valley bomber, don't forget.
Can't help that. We must lose height fast. I'll go about it normally when we're safe.
But why? What's happened?
Have another look at our village.
Baked potatoes, there's a plane coming up.
Yes, that's no village, that's an aerodrome.
Sizzling sausages and we didn't twig. What clots.
We were a long way from it. And a drome is the last thing we'd expect to see out here.
Think that kite's burbling after us?
I don't know. But I'm going down close to the deck and heading as fast as I can in the other direction.
Hang on, old bean. Those rocky hills over there.
I'd rather deal with a rocky hill than a Russian jet fighter.
By jingo, yes, that's an MiG.
It was an MiG. Nearly out of sight now.
Well, don't grumble about that, old trout. It means he didn't spot us.
He might have missed us that time, Bertie, but we won't be so lucky again. I want to be well out of sight of the drone before that jet comes back.
Heck, it's hot out here.
Well, we are not yet to the full heat of the day. That is why I suggested we collected the stores at once. Even when food is in packages and tins, it will not stand up to this heat.
It becomes really bad by midday, doesn't it?
Oh, incredible.
Phew.
It is unwise to move out of the shade at that time. At the oasis, we keep well inside and exert ourselves as little as possible.
I think I'll be glad when this week's over.
When that time comes, my friend, we shall all of us thank heaven.
We better try and do this in one trip if we can. I say, pile some more onto that load, Fang. We don't want to come out again.
I can carry more.
All right, there's a container behind you. And I'll take this one over here. Then we'll have cleared it up.
Our load will be heavy.
They'll be heavier still if we have to make another trip. Okay, blokes, back to the guest house with them. We'll store everything in there.
Please do not make too much noise. The sick man is in the next room.
Mind if I leave you in charge here, Honey?
No, of course.
I'd like to see how they're going with Algie. Be back with you in a few minutes.
Oh, it's you, Mr. Hebblethwaite. Oh, I'm glad you've come. We'll need your help.
Mine? Why?
We'll want you and Henrik to carry your friend into the caves. It'd be too dangerous to keep him here. He'd be found at once if there was another attack.
Then you don't think he'll be on his feet for a while?
I'm afraid I don't know when he'll be well. He has a broken rib.
Well, I think he's had that for some time. He was hurt when he fell from a horse.
Yes, we suspected that. And when he jumped from the plane, he hurt himself again. I'm afraid the broken rib has damaged him internally.
Good grief. How bad is he?
Quite bad. We'll do everything we can for him, but under these conditions, we can promise nothing.
Ginger is horrified at the thought of Algie being seriously ill. Will the oasis be attacked again? Can Ginge defend the place with a sick comrade to guard? Don't miss the development of this intriguing story in the next chapter of The Air Adventures of Biggles.